Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Antony, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you about how you can become a fashion designer in 2022. Now, I've been a fashion designer for over 10 years with lots of different experiences, including high-end, high street and even fast fashion. And this channel is dedicated to helping you become a fashion designer or getting your foot on the fashion design career. Now, let me just say, becoming a fashion designer is not easy. It can be quite difficult, but there are three main strategies that you can use to become a fashion designer. Now, I'm just going to tell you what them three strategies are, and then later in the video, I'm going to tell you about each one of the strategies and how you can implement it to become a fashion designer. So the first one is starting your own brand. The second is working for someone else, and the third is becoming a freelance designer. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help my channel to grow, especially that like button. You have no idea how much it helps promote my video and boost it with the YouTube's algorithm. Please also leave a comment because I like to chat to you guys and get to know you a little bit better and build this fashion community up. Alright, okay, let's get started and let's talk about how you can become a fashion designer in 2022. So the first one is starting your own business. Now, this can cost anywhere between $100 all the way up to $5,000, depending on what you want to do yourself and what you want to hire out. Now, this is not easy. It's difficult, it's hard work, and mainly you will have to do it as a side hustle first and then build it gradually to become your full-time income. But to start your own brand is essentially to become a fashion designer. So the first thing to do is start with your brand name. What is your brand? How will it look? And what does it stand for? Once you've got your brand name and your logo and all of that sort of stuff sorted, then you need to come up with the customers. Who are you targeting for your customer and what audience are you trying to sell to? And the third most important thing is coming up with a line of products. Now, don't worry, I know all of that sounds quite a lot at the beginning, but initially, all you need to come up with is your brand name and what kind of logo you want for it. Now, if you can't draw, don't worry, that's fine. Just collate loads of images of stuff that you like, and then you can go on things like Fiverr and ask someone to draw it for you, or you can cheat a little bit and you can get some tracing paper, put it over the image and just draw over it. And that way you can see how you can build up your collection. Really, for a launching of a brand, you want between 5 and 8 products, depending on what you're gonna do. And if it's starting out from no money whatsoever, you don't have any money in the bank to put into this business, maybe it's a case of not designing your own products at first, but designing your logo and getting all of that sorted, and then putting it on ready-made garments. So you could use drop shipping, or you could use stock garments to put your logo and everything on. And then people will buy into the brand, and then eventually, as you build up a bit of a fund, you can then start creating and designing into products yourself. When you're at the point ready to start producing your own things, you need to find suppliers. The best place to look for these are places like LinkedIn, Alibaba, or any other site that is dedicated to small suppliers. Ideally, I'd look for manufacturers and suppliers that are based in your country, because you don't really want to pay too many taxes when you're importing things, especially at the beginning. You can do that later on when you get bigger and you can reach the higher minimums that places in other countries might require, and then you can afford the shipping fees and all of that. But that is a different thing for a different day when the business is bigger. From there, you need to build a website and start promoting your products across social media. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, any of them places, just promote, and even use Facebook ads and Instagram ads to really push your content out there so people can actually see the products that you're selling. Okay, so on to the next thing. Designing for someone else. So actually becoming an employee and a paid designer, which is what I am. I have started my own freelance bits in the past. I've also started bits and bobs of my own branding that is kind of funneling in to create a bigger brand in the future, but my main job is designing for other brands. And currently I'm designing for a global fast fashion brand, which is pretty big in the UK, and we also export to other countries as well. So if you want to go down this route, the first thing that you will need is a degree. Unfortunately, to get a job as a fashion designer, at least a designer that you are designing for someone else, for someone's business, you generally need a degree. So you'll have to go to university, and this can be quite costly. It can cost anywhere between $20,000 up. So don't expect that to be a cheap option. However, you don't have to put up any money up front. you can then pay it back later as you go through your career. Especially in the UK, it's really good because yes, the university fees are high, but you don't actually have to start paying any money back until you earn, I think it's over 21k at the moment. And then, if after 25 years you've not paid that debt off, I think it gets wiped. So while you're at uni, you'll learn loads of different skills such as drawing, using CADs and illustrations. You'll learn how to trend research and do trend reports and all of that sort of stuff that you'll need in your day-to-day work life. So that's what a degree is for. It basically teaches you the basic skills that you'll need to be a designer, and then it also opens the door and gets you into them interviews, especially if you come from some prestigious schools. At the point that you are graduating university, you'll have to make a CV and a portfolio. These are the two most important documents to a fashion designer. Your CV is basically a list of every place that you've worked. If you've not worked anywhere before, you'll list what you've learned at your degree, and also you'll come up with a portfolio, which is a book of all your work. Now, I do have videos on both of these topics if you want to go and watch them. It'll definitely help you when applying for jobs and how to present yourself when it comes to them interviews. Once you've got a CV and a portfolio ready, then you can start targeting different brands that you like. Think about brands on the high street, think about high-end brands, and think about fast fashion brands, or even supermarkets that you like the clothing in, and start targeting them. Add their human resource managers and workers onto LinkedIn, and then you can start emailing out and saying, hey, I'm looking for a job. Maybe not as relaxed as that, but you can say something like, hi, I've just graduated uni, I'm looking for my first opportunity within fashion. I'd love to come work for you as a brand because I love you, blah, 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 blah. And just make it like that and reach out to as many people as you can. Generally, you should get some responses. And also then you can start applying for jobs through different websites such as LinkedIn, such as Business of Fashion, and also Drapers. At that point, if you get to a position where you've been interviewed, they'll offer you a project. Now, projects are really difficult, and I do have a whole video series about how to create the perfect project for fashion design. So it goes through the mood boards, it goes through how to take them mood boards and translate them into designs, and it also goes through how to make a tech pack. Tech packs are so important. You'll be doing tech packs on a daily basis, so getting to know them, getting to understand them, and using them is really, really important. So definitely go and watch them 3 videos if you're interested in becoming a fashion designer. From there, hopefully you'll be offered a job as probably a junior designer or an entry-level assistant designer, or if you're a little bit further along in your career, you'd actually be offered a designer job. So the next thing to talk about is becoming a freelance designer. Now, there are a few ways to become a freelance designer. The usual way to become a freelance designer is you've probably worked in the industry for maybe 5 to 10 years already and cultivated a list of different people that you've worked with in the past that you can reach out to and say, hey, do you need a freelance designer? But that's not the only way you can do it. If you haven't been to university and you don't want to go to university or spend the money on the fees, there are different ways of becoming a freelance designer and building up your roster of clients. So what is that? The first thing is you need to learn a few skills. You need to learn Illustrator, you need to learn Photoshop, and ideally, because the future is coming, you need to learn Clo 3D. These 3 programs are really important, especially Illustrator and Photoshop, but more so Clo 3D coming up, because a lot of people are going to want 3D renders of garments, and if you can get into the Clo 3D game now, you'll be set. Once you've learnt these skills and practiced them for a while, then you can start to hire out your services on things like Fiverr, Upwork, and even Etsy. And then once you've got a collection of different garments that you've drawn, you can sell them on Etsy. You can also sell them on Shutterstock or any different vector-based downloadable program and start earning a side passive income while you're trying to build up this freelance business. After a while of freelancing, if you've got a good portfolio, you could actually then transition this into a full-time paid job with a company. Or if you're working for startups and people really like your work and these startups become big, they might actually approach you and say, do you want to come and work for us? At which case you can say yes, and then you're a fashion designer. But I will say becoming a freelance designer is very hard. Once you start the game of freelance and you're getting work here and there, people will start recommending you more and more, and that's when more and more work will come in, and the more suppliers you work with, they'll also contact you in the future and all of that sort of stuff. So it is kind of like a snowball effect. But to start out, it is really difficult, and I would suggest you starting it as maybe a bit more of a side hustle. So if you've got a bar job and you want to become a freelance fashion designer, start with Fiverr, start with Upwork, start with Etsy, all of that sort of stuff, and build out your portfolio of clients and build your portfolio up To become a freelance designer, you don't need too much money to start up. You just need to pay for your subscription fees, which are around $50 per month if you want Adobe. And I have a link for Adobe in the description down below. So if you click that link, you can try it for the first 7 days for free. Or for Clo 3D, which I think is about $45 a month. Again, I'll leave a link to that in the description below. But apart from them subscription signups, you don't have to have a lot to start it up. And hopefully, within the first couple of jobs, you will have paid for the subscriptions and the rest should be pure profit. But yes, that is 3 different ways to become a fashion designer in 2021. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to hit that beautiful red subscribe button down below. Please also check out my Etsy shop where you can buy CADs and vectors to help support you in your everyday design life. Otherwise, I'll see you every Thursday with a brand new video. Alright, okay, thanks for watching. Alright, bye. Cha cha cha. Bye.